Hello, once again, and welcome to my podcast once again. And this lovely Sunday, and I hope you guys been good this past week. And yet again, it's another last Sunday for this month, as we say, bye to the month of August, and we have another topic on our mental aptitude, mental state, and today we're going to look at mental blocks and how we can overcome mental blocks. But before we proceed, let's see what mental blocks are. You see, mental blocks are psychological barriers that hinder our thinking, creativity, and productivity. So as we can see that these mental blocks actually they hinder a lot of things that help us navigate our mind state, right? Like thinking. Sometimes we want to think much more clearly. Then we'll have mental blocks. This blocks our thinking clearly, right? Also, when we want to get creative, we also get mental blocks sometimes, or we want to be productive, we may get some mental blocks. This is why sometimes you hear individuals who are writers, usually authors and writers, talking about writer's block. Writer's block is actually a form of mental block, and when writers experience this, they're just basically experiencing mental blocks, and their productivity usually are blocked by usually could be stressful situation, some sort of anxiety of sort. So this is what actually mental blocks are, and at times we do experience this. Now let's see how we can overcome them. And now I've put together 7 ways we can overcome these mental blocks. So according to my little research that I've done, these are 7 of the best ways we can ever actually overcome these mental blocks. So let's jump right into it. We'll start with number 1. So number 1, we have to take breaks. So this is a no-brainer, right? When we've been productive, we've been getting creative, or just working wherever we work, right? We need to take breaks. Breaks are very important. So for those who are productive and being creative, it's very essential to step away from a task so that you can reset your mind and reduce stress. You can do whatever other activity that actually reduces stress. That's the best way to take a break, right? Do something that reduces your stress, that will take your mind away from what you usually do, whether productively or creatively. This will reduce stress and help you reset your mind. And number 2, we can change our environment. Change your environment. Changing environment is very important. Going somewhere else totally different from your usual daily dwellings, right? Change your environment by maybe going on a short vacation. That's what a lot of people do to unwind, just getting a different stimulus from what you usually get, just different scenario. Put yourself within a different scenario so that you can get new and fresh ideas and perspective. Of course, this also means we are going to encounter different people, who should give you different perspective, stimulate your brain, tell you things that or you can talk on things that you can work on that are new and better perspective of what you already know. So changing your environment will help you unwind, also help you get different stimulus into your brain, so that you get fresh ideas also. And number 3 is practicing mindfulness. Yeah, this one is one of the most important, because you have to be mindful of your thoughts, mindful of where you are, mindful of what you're doing. Yeah, you cannot go about just being robotic or just doing things business as usual. You need to be mindful of what you're doing, right? And when you are much more mindful, you can do this by actually meditating, doing things that will unclutter your mental state. This way, you're also going to enhance your focus. What you're focusing in, or what you're going to focus on, will be the thing that you need to focus on, right? So mindfulness is very important. Make sure you're getting techniques that help you be much more mindful. Number 4 is to break down tasks. You have to break down tasks and goals, and whatever project you're doing or you're embarking on, you have to break them down. Now, this is something that has helped me a lot, breaking down tasks. Sometimes we have so many projects or so many things that we are doing at once, or just one big project, but then it overwhelms us. These projects are overwhelming because you have deadlines, you have things that you have to do that are personal, your own personal things, but then you have these work things, then you still have social things to attend and all that. All this can be overwhelming, right? But you have to know how to simplify things by breaking down these tasks into smaller, manageable steps. So you know that you're going to be doing this and this at this time. So breaking down these things into smaller elements, so you take them step by step, then eventually you'll be able to create that bigger project in due time. So it's very important to break down these tasks. Don't go about them trying to do everything at once. This will overwhelm you. What you'll be doing, you'll be just creating a subpar project or whatever you're doing, right? And it won't be of quality. So another way to overcome mental block, number 5, is to challenge limiting beliefs. Challenging our limiting beliefs. I always talk about this. I think I've talked about this in my various previous podcasts. But this usually entails you to actually look within, and then you have to identify whatever negative thoughts that come your way. Those negative thoughts, the nagging negative thoughts that may cause your mental blocks, like telling yourself that you cannot do certain things, telling yourself that you cannot learn certain things, or just any negative things about yourself. This could be one of the worst mental blocks, because what you're doing is you're telling yourself negative prompts that you cannot actually do some things, especially if you've not tried them. Have you tried doing that thing? Have you ever tried being consistent with that thing? Because telling yourself things that are negative about yourself definitely causing mental blocks, because you're just essentially telling yourself that you're incapable of doing things that even you find that other people are able to do them. So identify these things. You have to work within yourself. Of course, at times you have to work with a professional or just someone who understands such things. Then they may help you identify these things, those mental blocks, those negative thoughts that you have, or those negative thoughts that were placed there, right? At some time, maybe in your childhood. Identify them, and then so that you are able to reframe them into much more positive thoughts, and then you can also go ahead and try whatever you think that may help you overcome them. Number 6, to overcome these mental blocks, the best things to do is to engage in creative activities. Engage in creative activities. So there are very much various creative activities that you can engage in, right? Activities like drawing, writing, brainstorming, painting, dancing, singing songs, whatever. All these things are whatever that gets your creative juices up and create out of the box thinking. Sometimes our own mental blocks, right, are within our own self. We incapable, right? We find ourselves incapable of thinking outside the box. And that's because we do not stimulate our creativity, our creative thinking, right? And the best way to do this is to actually engage in these anything that's creative, drawing, writing. I believe that everyone has a way of being creative. We are born with certain traits that help us create anything that we like to do. So once we become creative, right, we're able to think outside the box, and this way we stimulate our mind more, so we can think creatively. And once we start thinking creatively, we can also overcome mental blocks, things that come our way that are trying to block our mind. We can think through them in a very much creative way. And the last but not least, number 7, we should seek out external input. Seeking out external input simply means that we discuss our challenges with people. Whatever challenges that we're going through, we're seeking out insights that others can provide, right? Because when we're going through challenges, we have to seek out solutions to them. And you find that once you talk to people, you're talking to others, they may give you solutions to some of those things that you're going through. So it's really up to you now to evaluate those solutions, if they may work for you, and then implement them. And the one thing about discussing your challenges, when you tell people your challenges, don't be afraid. Of course, you have to be talking to someone who you actually trust and all, but don't be afraid to be challenged. Someone challenging you or telling you something that you may not be willing to do, don't take things personally, right? Part of it, or part of getting answers to solutions, is that you may be challenged. What you believe in, or what you conventionally believe, right, may be challenged. So someone may come with a solution that is unconventional, something that is different from what you think what you usually think, right? So don't be afraid of that, but depends. Okay, you think to yourself, would you actually implement that? Because at times usually, right, the unconventional could be the solution to whatever you seek out, right? For the solutions that you are seeking out. All right, so if someone challenges you or challenges your thinking, that person is basically stimulating you, right? Stimulating your brain to think, and then you can now think that if you want to implement that, it's really up to you. So these inputs that you seek out, you have to seek out insights, right, to overcome those challenges, and these may actually help very much so in overcoming those mental barriers. And there you have it. I gave you 7 ways you can overcome these some of your mental barriers. And I hope all these will bring value to you. I should say goodbye and this lovely Sunday. I hope you have a lovely Sunday and peace.